everybody, and welcome to Bill Has Opinions, your can't miss Bill shit. I'm Laura Lavoie, and I'm here with Bill Perkins.
Ahoy, how are you?
You have opinions.
I do.
This is your show, and you have opinions.
Yeah.
So, welcome.
Hey, thanks. Thanks for having me.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
So
since we were on here.
Yeah, well.
We've seen each other, but not here.
Well, it's even been a little while since that, because DragonCon was like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, okay, fair enough.
So we had our DragonCon show, and then we went to DragonCon, and then we were off for 2 weeks.
2?
Yeah, because the Monday off DragonCon.
The Monday off DragonCon.
And then the next I couldn't do last Monday because I was at a concert.
Fair. Okay.
And you were leaving the next day.
What did you see?
Josh Joplin.
That sounds familiar, but...
He had a big hit in the very early 2000s called Camera One. That was really his only hit. But we've been huge fans, and we've seen him dozens of times.
Okay.
But the show here was at the Great Eagle, and it was apparently he did not sell a lot of tickets.
Oh.
So it broke the double digits, but it wasn't very many people. So it was an incredibly intimate show.
Yeah.
And we were just standing, and then we talked to him after the show for a while. It was actually really cool. I didn't mind. I didn't mind that there were only like 25
you
people
felt bad
there.
for him, though.
Well, yeah, but he still did the show.
Put gas in the vein.
Well, yeah.
And then buy a T-shirt at least.
He wasn't selling T-shirts.
Well, he should be.
Yeah, literally.
That's another marketing fail. We were talking about marketing fails earlier.
We were joking that if he had just written his name on a plain white T-shirt, I would have bought it, because I was like, oh, there's 25 people here. I feel like I have to buy a T-shirt.
Right.
And the reason we talked to him was because I went to buy a T-shirt at the merch table where he was after the show, and there was no merch table. There was just him.
Just him. So did he have CDs or some other arcade bullshit that you don't need anymore?
He did, but we really own it all.
Yeah, okay. You're like, I already bought all this.
Yeah, like we bought all that.
No, you should have stickers and T-shirts and cups or something that people don't have already.
Yeah, I don't really know why he didn't, but anyway.
Well, I bet he learned a lesson.
Well, and then you went out of town.
I did,
and we will talk more about it because we do have your trip, DragonCon recap, and Kentucky trip as our opening segment.
Yeah.
But also, so we don't always talk about beers anymore. But I want to take a moment.
Yeah.
While we start, because we've switched seasons.
Yes, we did. Things happened.
Yeah, it's today gorgeous out.
Oh my God. Yeah. Well, actually, it's been. So we had this actually briefly before DragonCon. We had the false fall, and then it got warm again, but now it's back to being fall again.
Right.
And I suspect it's going to be summer again before it's really fall.
Right.
So we're on second false fall, or whatever the hell, we have one false fall, but why not another, but
Fool's fall.
But honestly, half the tree, I don't know about around your house.
They're starting to turn.
Some of my trees have turned already, and I'm like, guys, it's like not,
some of them do that though. They're like, oh, we're ready, and then it's hot, and they're like, damn it,
hickory tree, come on, man, like you're already bright red, and it's September.
So, it is September, which is traditional Oktoberfest season.
I guess so. Yeah, they misnamed it.
Yeah, well, we did. We have some Oktoberfest.
Or they named it prior to the Romans fucking with the calendar.
As it turns out, they didn't. But it was just like, actually, I don't remember the reason why it's called Oktoberfest, but Oktoberfest was to celebrate the marriage of King Ludwig the something,
maybe the 8th.
And
that would make the most sense.
But yeah, so they started doing Octobabia. Actually, that's a good point.
I'm trying to deduce a thing.
So we've got here the Founders Oktoberfest. The thing I really wanted to point out about this, the only Oktoberfest can I've ever seen that doesn't have the blue and white checks.
Yeah, it's only one that doesn't have like the Bavarian flag on it, right? Because
to be fair, we've got another one that we haven't cracked open yet that does. It's got its own. Yeah. I like how they all use like the vaguely German font. They're like, shall we do Oktoberfest?
Right.
So right now I'm drinking the Founders one, which is quite delicious.
If I had a beer company and I made an Oktoberfest, I'd put a superfluous umlaut over the second,
over something. Yeah,
the second O. Yeah. Or better yet, over the T.
Over the second O, wouldn't that make it like Oktoberfest?
Oktoberfest, yes.
which is it's just
to mess with people.
It's just fun.
But hey, it'd be funny because it'd be an Oktoberfest with some yam flavor. How about that, huh? And then it would be October. You get it?
I do. I do get it. And thanks, Jay. So the first Oktoberfest was held October 12th. So the Germans fucked it up. They're like, no, we're starting in September.
They just said, like, you know what I really like? I like when we had that festival where we drink beer. Let's start
that earlier.
It's got Christmas creep.
Yeah, exactly. So here's fun fact. So it included a feast and horse races, which we're going to talk about in a minute.
Hey.
So that feels extra special.
All right.
Compared. So let's just dive right into Bill shit.
All right. Yeah.
Woo! Did you forget that we had made the?
I just every time I hear it, I'm like, wow.
We're like a professional show,
right? Yeah.
So at first, we want to mention and briefly talk about Dragon Con.
Yeah,
which we did.
It's a thing we did.
We did a whole show.
Yeah, but you feel like you do have to kind of like debrief. Like you want to talk about like how would that go? Yeah, it was.
How did that go?
I enjoyed it. I had a really good time. Probably one of the better times in the last few years. Honestly, partially because of where we stayed, because we both moved hotels.
Right, we wanted a less moist and moldy hotel, so we
had better accommodations, and we had also a better central location.
Yes,
even though we weren't in a host hotel, we were in a great spot. That allowed us to come and go very easily. If like you had some reason that you want to change clothes or run back to the hotel for something, it wasn't like out of your way. You could do it, and you didn't feel like once you got there that you're like, oh, I'm in for the night. I'm done.
Right,
you would just go, okay, or even if you did want to go lay down for a minute, you'd lay down for a minute and you go, oh, I could go again. I'll get up and go again.
We did that a couple of times.
Yeah, so we did that too, and I never found myself really doing that when we were down at the Cortland because it was always so far away from everything.
Which was fine in its day. I think when we were all a little bit younger, it felt like it was a part that we weren't just like in the chaos, but we also all felt, we were like, okay, we can go up the hill to something.
Yeah.
But now I'm 50, nearly 50, and I don't need to go up that giant
hill.
Don't
miss going up the hill.
Not. And so, yeah, I liked being on Peachtree, which is sort of like it's the top of Dragon Con. If you're looking at a map, right? It's the top of Dragon Con.
Yeah.
Which also meant if you went into the host hotels, from there's sky bridges to get from every host hotel.
Yeah. You got over there and then you could just do the thing.
Yeah.
Although sometimes the sky bridges malfunctioned a great amount of time.
They did.
This is the first time I remember this being a thing. But although it was it's the highest number we've had
since pre-COVID.
Since pre-COVID. Okay.
Yeah, not the highest number ever, but the highest number since pre-COVID.
Since pre-COVID though, because it's back up to 75,000 ish. And there were some Skybridge malfunctions a couple nights where you would just get locked. Oh God, the worst thing that happened to me was one night we were in the queue to get on the Skybridge. When you come behind the Pulse Bar and you get on you're in that little section before you turn on the Skybridge,
right?
And there's that room back there where the droids always are. You know what I'm talking about? Okay, so there was a group cosplay, and they were cosplaying Brood X.
Okay.
Of the cicadas.
Yeah, of the cicadas, yeah.
And they were in the little droid area. They weren't in the queue, but we were all in the queue, and we were backed up because there was some sort of issue on the Skybridge, and they were making everybody stop for a minute.
Right.
And those fuckers, they had like these little clacker things they were doing to like make the cicada noise, and they wouldn't stop doing it. And you were already agitated because you were like, what I'm saying? And you were just like, I'm going to kill one of those fucking cicadas in a minute.
Right? Like literally.
They thought they were so fucking funny, but they weren't funny at all. That was the most annoying costume I saw at the con was the cicadas. And everywhere they went, they would be like,
yeah, they did do yeah.
They do this the whole time.
They're funny in concept.
It's
a lot when you're actually in the middle of it.
Yeah, I'm sure if I'd have read that, like if I hadn't gone and I read that, I'd been like, ha ha ha. But having to deal with it, I was like, oh.
We did run into a few instances in the in the sky bridges where it was crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So we found ourselves going outside
Exactly.
a lot.
That's what I was trying to say. Was you were talking about the sky bridges, but I was like, I went outside a lot because I found the sky bridges failing.
Right. Well, what we ended up doing a bunch was if we were going to the Hilton, which if you don't know, but if you do, they're like sequential. You got the Hyatt, the Marriott, and the Hilton. We were going all the way to the Hilton. We would go outside, from one of the two hotels and go to the Hilton from outside. But then knowing that the sky bridges were a clusterfuck, we would walk up the road to the Cortland Garage and go up to the Cortland Garage 7th floor sky bridge, which was always empty and took you directly to Peachtree Center, which was right across the street from our hotel.
Right.
So that's how we bypassed the main sky bridges.
Okay. I didn't use that a lot. Other things I wanted to address. This is a thing I always feel like it's a fun debriefing thing after DragonCon. What were the most popular cosplays? Were you surprised by them? Were you not?
I was surprised. I'm guessing there were more that I just didn't see. I was surprised I didn't see as many Deadpools.
Yes. I was also shocked that I didn't see any increase in the number of Deadpools. I saw a few tertiary characters. Like I saw more Blades this year.
Sure.
Everybody who used to cosplay Blade 7 or 8 years ago pulled it back out.
Well, right. They're like, Blade.
Yeah.
Right. I saw quite a few Gambits this year for that same reason.
Yes,
right?
Exactly. Blades and the Gambits and a few Wolverines, maybe.
Yeah.
But I didn't see any increase in Deadpools, surprisingly.
Which I'm guessing they had to be there somewhere because there's always the Deadpool parade, right? Like so I'm guessing.
Or did we reach Deadpool stasis?
Maybe. The other one I expected to see a lot of, and I didn't see in the wild, but I know that their photo shoot has the record of the biggest photo shoot, like in DragonCon history, was Has Been Hotel.
I actually saw a great many of those. I will say that one and What We Do in the Shadows were the two I saw the most of. And that one surprised me. Like not that it's popular, but it surprised me how many people. I just saw so many What We Do in the Shadows.
So two of the actors from What We Do in the Shadows were a late announcement. Yeah. My favorite part is the one guy, Kaven, I can't remember his last name, who plays Nandor. Mm-hmm. He in the Walk of Fame, he wore fake fangs the entire time. So every time someone got a picture with him, he had the fangs, which is just commitment to a new level. Like I'm sure I play a vampire.
Yeah, that's great.
Do it.
That's cool. Actually, the other person who came to the open casket party and said, "Hey, I'll be at the back, and if you want to say hi or have a photo, whatever, like not even like pulling like Walk of Fame nonsense,
right? Exactly, just like
hey, we're cool. Like I like hanging out with the goths,
Yeah.
That was pretty cool. I want to go back to cosplays. The other thing, Baldur's Gate. There was a lot of Baldur's Gate.
There was a lot of Baldur's Gate.
And then there was, so I couldn't even, because there's an intersection here, I couldn't tell sometimes, is this a tiefling or is this a Has-Been Hotel character? Like I see some sort of red devil and I'm like,
right.
I don't, it's one of those two things, right?
Well, was the red devil super sexy or was it just regular?
Very realistic.
That's the question.
Did it look cute and sexy or realistic?
Right.
That's about it. Yeah, but I saw loads of Baldur's Gate also. That was a huge thing. I'm trying to think. I think that was about the things that I saw the most of. Right. Yeah. Like there were things I thought going into it that we're going to see that we didn't. Yeah. I mean, like Fallout. Like there was some Fallout, but it wasn't. But it wasn't like off the chain.
Yeah, I expected it to be a lot more.
Like a wall of blue suits.
Yeah, because it's such a relatively simple costume. Even if you don't do a character, you just do the suit. Yeah, I didn't see as many as I expected. Yeah. But let's switch gears. Okay. Although I do want to quickly say we've already committed to next year. We already have our hotels and our badges. So
yeah. Same. All of us. All of us. Yeah, we're down. So we'll see you there.
We'll do the 6th annual Opinion Con right before the show. And we're in the same hotel this year, which we weren't this year. So this year we'll probably do some more. We intended to do some like on the scene, but we just couldn't because we weren't in the same place. So we might do more on the scene stuff.
Yeah.
All right, but
Yeah,
immediately after Dragon Con, we both went on 2 different trips.
we did. Yeah,
I mean, separate trips.
right. Yeah,
You went to Texas.
right.
So, just Cliff's Notes version. How was that?
Okay, it was good. We went to San Antonio to see my stepson graduate from Air Force Basic Training. While we were in San Antonio, we took in a few of the sites. We didn't have loads of free time. I mean, because he was always restricted to, like, he had to be back at base by X,
Sure.
some time that ends in 100.
Right. Exactly.
And anyway, so there was that, and Emily was trying to, she's the planner, and she likes to pack as much into a trip as we can, but it became very, like, also it was it's San Antonio, Texas in the summertime, so it's stiflingly hot.
Right.
So we did do the Riverwalk, which is pleasant, and actually it's a little cooler down by the Riverwalk, but we wound up not. Like, I didn't see the Alamo before you asked, so I don't know if there's a basement.
No basement?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I didn't get to go. I wanted to. I asked several times if I could go to the Alamo to look and see if there was a basement, because it's not the kind of thing that you
had to just ride your bike there.
Yeah, but anyway, we did. Oh, I'll tell you what we did do that was fun. We went to this place called what was the place called? I don't know. We went to a Hopscotch. It's a like a light and sound museum or something, kind of like. It's all this like interactive, like installation art kind of stuff. Although I say it's a museum, but it's also a concept bar, is what. So they had a bar, and if you went in a little bit messed up, it was probably 10 times cool. Like, if you dropped a gummy before you went in or something, you'd have really had a good time. Like, just because this place, it just had some cool rooms that were immersive, and like there were lights blinking and stuff was going. It was like a rave back in the 90s. I don't know. It was some, it was a thing. Anyway,
Sure.
there's one in San Antonio. There's one in Portland, Oregon.
Oh, okay.
So if you're either place, check that out. Hopscotch. It's worth a look see. I had a good time. We all had a good time there. Oh, one of the best things there was a ball pit. Huge ball pit for adults, and it's filled with, instead of colored balls, it was filled with clear balls, and then it had like LED lights under the floor.
Oh, so it was
constantly changing. Yeah. It was like that was awesome. Yeah,
that sounds awesome.
That's one of the many things that was there, but all the rooms were like that. Like, in every other room you walked in, you were like, I could put one of these in my house, and this would be cool.
I mean, we share a love for like LED lights. Like, we have LED shit in our houses, like we're a sound and light museum. Right? Yeah, I'm the same. Yeah, exactly. I always this place isn't. I always tell my wife I'm like a raccoon. Like, if it's chrome and LEDs, I'm like, woo woo, what's that? Exactly. Yeah. Well, while you were in Texas, I was in Kentucky. Right. It was a business trip, but also I'm cool and my business is neat. I went to the Keeneland yearling thoroughbred sale. Did you buy a horse? I did not personally, but my clients bought some horses. That is the purpose. They were there to buy horses. Did you at any point have to go to the bathroom and say, I need to see a man about a horse? I did not. I should have. But when you're in the auction, because it's a livestock auction, right? Basically, sure. These are super fancy young thoroughbreds. And when you're in the auction house, though, you're like, don't scratch your nose. Oh, don't move your hands. Your arm. Because you're like, I do not want to buy a $300,000 horse. I don't want to wind up going home with a horse because I scratch my head. Exactly. They're like, yeah, $2 million for this horse. And you're like, I don't have $2 million. I don't need a horse. Jesus Christ. Because it's not even like antiques auction where you get the little paddles. Okay. No, it's literally just like these people are crazy. Like, it's like a nod or that guy. Absolutely. No. I don't. Yeah. Exactly. They did buy some horses over the last couple of days, which is great because that's literally what their job is. That's what they do. That they're really excited about. But speaking of museums, we also got to go to a fun museum thing. Yeah. We went to the International Museum of the Horse. It was at the Kentucky Horse Park. They had just done their Japanese horse installation. Okay. So it was like the history of equine everything in Japan. Yeah. And it was so cool. And it was a cocktail reception. Like, this was definitely, being in the right place, right time with the people I was with. Like, this is, first of all, you look at me, I'm not a cocktail party kind of person.
Yeah.
I'm also not technically.
Did they have Japanese whiskey?
Well, not Japanese whiskey. They had sake.
Okay.
And I drank 2 champagne flutes of sake.
Uh-huh.
And then I had a pre-mixed old fashioned after that, which was fine, but it was pre-mixed. But
okay.
But they had like a freaking sushi chef, like a real ass sushi chef,
Yeah,
making fresh sushi on site. And holy shit, it was the best sushi I'd ever had.
Yeah.
Like at this fucking horse park.
Okay.
Eating goddamn sushi. It was so delicious. And then we were there with our client, Jenna Antonucci, who, of course, as we've talked about on the show before, won the Belmont Stakes a couple years ago. I didn't even notice. This is how unobservant I am sometimes. We just grabbed a bench in a corner, you know, our whole group, and it was right under Jenna's exhibit.
Oh.
So Jenna's sitting there under her own picture.
Yeah.
On like the suit that she donated to them of like that she wore. So it was actually pretty surreal, but it was really cool. But then the Japanese exhibit was super cool too.
Yeah.
Like it was really, really, really cool. Yeah, and there were all kinds of.
So they have like samurai armor for horses.
They didn't have samurai armor. They had the history of the samurai armor, but they had a bunch of other stuff. It was very racing related, but there was also like they had a whole exhibit of this anime called Pretty Derby. That was just this anime. Apparently, it's a very complex story where horses get reincarnated as girls. Who then
that track?
So yeah, exactly. Very Japanese. But then there was all kinds of really cool, like old, that you know that.
So it's the opposite of the season of My Little Pony, where the ponies were actually girls.
Well,
that's a more recent. I don't know if you're familiar, but there was an episode. There was a season where the ponies from My Little Ponies were girls instead of horses. Yeah.
Yeah.
But so it's just like in reverse.
Kind of,
right?
yeah, but they're always girls. But it was really cool. And what I really like, the old style Japanese art that you see, like the calligraphy art.
Yeah.
They had a whole bunch of that. Oh, it was really, really cool. But anyway, we forget that this is only a half-hour episode now. And we just talked about ourselves for most of it.
Right. Yeah.
So let's switch gears. Real quick, just let you know, please scan here. Buy some merchandise. You can get our t-shirts. You can get our Stay Shitty merchandise. Please do. We want to buy a new camera because I'm using a shitty old webcam for this, and I would like something slightly better. I haven't even picked something out. I just want something slightly better.
Something slightly better.
Yeah, that's all I want. So donate, $5 at a time, and we'll get that.
Yeah.
So let's move on to this. So we only have a few minutes, and frankly, we only need to give it a few minutes.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
The thing we missed since we last had a show was the presidential debate.
Yes.
And
would you say you missed it?
I didn't miss it, Bob.
Yeah.
So yeah, give me your thoughts.
I didn't watch it, first off.
So you just got the social media.
I got the social media highlights. Yes. I watched Jon Stewart talk about it, and I caught all the shit my friends said.
Yeah.
But of course, what everyone's talking about is whether or not your pets are being eaten by immigrants in Springfield, Ohio.
Yeah.
Right? Which is a whole damn. I mean, gosh, boy, if you were a meme maker and you collected $10 every time you made a meme.
Oh my God.
Well, this was your get rich quick scheme, I suppose.
All the memes, man, all the memes. And so on one hand, obviously that statement was mockable as shit, right? Because
but it wasn't without consequence.
Correct. Yeah, the Haitian community in Springfield, Ohio is like there are real consequences for the fact that people kept saying this shit.
Yeah.
Like, bomb threats, parents keeping their kids out of school. And the other thing to say, like, they made it total fear-mongering, right? Not just about immigrants eating pets, but about illegal immigration and all of this. But specifically the city of Springfield, the vast majority of specifically Haitian immigrants are legal. Mm-hmm. They all asylum seekers.
Right.
And they were invited by the city of Springfield because to fill job vacancies.
Right.
So
they're performing a function.
It's a good thing. Like this community needs to be
embraced. This is the case in general. Like I don't know if you guys remember, but back when a certain fellow was president for 4 years, one of his big deals was kicking all the immigrants out of the country. And I think he was mildly successful in accomplishing that goal. That was probably one of the few things he said he was going to do that he did do. However, you'll notice that since then, everybody always is going, nobody wants to work anymore. Nobody wants to work anymore. Well, hey, could it be that the people that did want to work in the fields that you're complaining about all got kicked out of the fucking country? And at the same time, simultaneously, the Mexican economy has gone up a tad.
Right.
So they went back to Mexico and they went, things are okay here.
Exactly.
There's no real reason for us to go back there.
Well, that's another thing that fine gentleman said a bunch, not even just in this debate. He did say it, but he also said it before, that the illegal immigrants are taking black jobs. Which, let's be clear, what he meant was
black jobs are outside and unpaid.
Yeah, exactly.
I think you know what kind of job we're talking about.
Exactly what they meant it to mean, and it was asinine.
Yeah,
but that's not all. That's not all he said.
But wait, there's more.
There's more. One of my favorite moments was toward the beginning, and I actually only watched about like a half an hour, 40 minutes of it because at some point I just
tolerate
like, I can't anymore. But and I felt confident in, I already felt confident in my vote, so I was like, I don't need to torture myself.
Yes.
But the very beginning, you could tell he was trying to be, or he was coached to be composed, right? He was going to speak evenly and just blah blah blah. It took him 5 seconds to lose his shit.
Right.
5 seconds. And one of the things that he went on about at the very beginning was Roe v. Wade, and that the Democrats are just executing babies after they're born. Just all the babies are born and they're getting executed. Just executed. Post-birth abortion.
I remember having a 48th trimester abortion once because I just couldn't afford it anymore.
Exactly.
If you could take this off our hands, that'd be great.
But even the moderator just said, to clarify, there is no state where killing babies is legal.
Yeah, I do like that the moderator called him out a few times over not the pets thing also.
Mm-hmm.
And then then you've got this conspiracy that like they fact checked him several times and they never fact checked her. It was because
she say complete bullshit.
Yeah, she wasn't full of bullshit.
Yeah,
like that's what's going to happen.
As candidates do, there were some things that she said that might have been a little misleading or a little hyperbolic, not to anywhere near at the level that he was. But so clearly, the after fact checking, I mean, you could do that, but in this case, these were so egregious.
Yeah, that you were like, sir, no,
I'm
sorry, there is no Loch Ness monster. God damn it! Like you can't. No, that's not.
Frankly, I would have been fine if he said that. That would have been fine. But the other favorite, two other favorites that we'll talk about quickly before we're done for the episode. The other favorite conspiracy theories / hyperbole that he did that the Democrats are transgendering illegal aliens in prison.
Is that right?
That's what they're just handing them out, apparently.
Wait, so I'm sorry. So people come here illegally, we put them in jail.
Yes.
And then we just like, haha, while you're in jail, now you're a woman. Haha.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Apparently. That's
okay.
Although I sent you a meme today that was transgendering illegal aliens in prison is basically the plot of Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Kind of, yeah.
Which I thought was pretty great.
I mean, that's some squirrely stuff. Yeah, it's basically just trying to roll all the things you hate into one thing, right?
Yeah, that's really what that was, right?
Like, just I'm gonna say a bunch of words that you all like. If I say these,
transgender, illegal aliens, prison.
While you're there, they're also indoctrinating them with critical race theory, right?
Yes. Like. And feeding them pets, and executing babies.
They're doing all those things.
All of those things are happening all at the same time. So yeah, it's some bullshit. And the other one I wanted to point out real quick before we are done for the episode, we talked about this on the show several weeks ago.
Okay.
Where the Black Journalism Conference.
Yeah.
And he was like, well, I don't know. She used to be Indian, but now she's black. Like,
yeah.
I don't know how that happened.
Suddenly she's whatever.
But he actually brought that up again.
Jesus
and his
Christ.
whole thing was, well, it's up to her what she calls herself. Is it though? It's not really. Like, it's not up to her how
right.
She's
like
she is
just
black and Indian.
Just like you're both old and an asshole.
Right.
Like you're not one or the other. You're always old and you're always an asshole.
Right. Those are just facts.
Yes.
Those are just
so
facts.
he's always black and Indian at the same time.
Well, he frequently mentioned the fact that her father was a quote Marxist professor.
Oh yeah.
Jamaican Marxist professor.
If anything, you're just selling her on me. Like,
frankly, yeah.
And honestly, probably mostly anybody under 25 is like, well, okay. Hey.
Yeah, that sounds great. Like, it sounds better than what.
I mean, because capitalism don't work. Like, why not? Fuck it. I actually was somehow or another. This wound up on my feed today on Facebook, but some congressperson from South Carolina. I don't know. Probably because some friend of mine responded to something he said, and it wound up on my feed. But anyway, it popped up, and it was like something about how teenagers today all think that they like want to be Marxists or some shit. And I'm like, probably because capitalism sucks ass.
Well, I mean, yeah, exactly. And when we were teenagers, or at least me, like the political viewpoint du jour was anarchy.
Yeah, sure.
Right?
Yeah.
Because we all listened to the Sex Pistols after they were already cool.
Yeah.
And we're like, yeah, anarchy in the USA. Like,
yeah, let's do it. Yeah, like, anarchy.
Yeah. So, yeah, capitalism isn't great.
No,
so, Oh, hi.
Oh, look at that.
Oh, we got a fly-by toast. Bye. Bye.
See you, Toast.
All right. Well, I think that's our son.
Just to make sure that Toast is safe from from
she's
aliens,
She's been marked safe eaten from anybody. Yeah, and when you name your cat after a food, you're like,
oh yeah, you're begging for trouble there. Like,
that's victim blaming, but sure. I mean, sure. All right. So that is it for the actual episode. Stay tuned for some extras in the week to come, but why don't you take us away?
Alrighty then. Bill Has Opinions is engineered and produced by Laura Lavoie. The opinions of Bill are his and his alone, unless they agreed, in which case they agreed, or vice versa. I don't always agree with everything she said. For instance, I don't know what she said that I would have disagreed.
I mean, there are times.
But there's times. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is be sure to buy our crap.
Definitely do that. Yeah, let me pop that up here.
Scan this merch code. Get us a camera. Be sure to like and subscribe if you're on YouTube. Be sure to follow us on Facebook and hashtag Can't Miss Bullshit and or Opinion Gang. If you have questions, comments, concerns, ideas for future shows, and be sure to tune in again next week when we have more of this bullshit for you.
We will have a lot more bullshit. We don't know what it'll be yet. We'll see what happens.
We'll talk about it. Yeah.
All right. Bye, everybody.